Hiya mate, thanks for tuning in. Today I want to speak to you about something that is, really important to me, being a security engineer, and that is, what is a burglar alarm? Now, I've been in this industry for 12 years fitting security systems. My dad's been in the industry for 33 years, so much longer than me. So, I've got a lot of experience in this industry, and with those years of experience, I've found out that essentially burglar alarms come down to have two main functions. But first of all, before we discuss them, a burglar alarm is a system that makes a loud alarm sound, usually loud sound, if it notices someone encroaching in an area when the system is set. Meaning that if someone's intruding into an area, the system will see that heat source, because what it does is it's looking for infrared signals. And when it sees that in a particular zone, it will trigger the alarm. Now, infrared is light that comes off in the form of heat. We all emit it as humans because we all emit heat. We can't see it, but the sensors can see it, and that's what they see when they trigger the alarm. They've seen infrared in that area, and therefore it needs to trigger the alarm. Now, in the past, when systems were a little bit more unreliable, and things like spiders, which still can cause a false alarm these days, the reason for that is when a spider runs across the lens, it's still emitting heat. It's a heat source. It's a live thing, and when it runs right across the lens, it sees it as this big heat source, triggers the alarm. They're a lot more resistant to it now, but that is essentially what a burglar alarm is. Now, it usually comes with some key components, and that will be a CPU, which stands for Control Panel Unit. This is the brains of the system essentially, and off the control panel you'll have devices such as PIRs, which are motion sensors. This stands for passive infrared. Or you may have opening contacts, which is for doors and windows, and when it notices that has been opened, it will trigger the alarm. They work by one magnet being on one side and the unit being on the other side, and there's a reed switch inside the device that's usually on the frame, and when the magnet moves away, that reed switch goes from closed to open, and that's what triggers the opening alarm on an opening contact. You also have things like shock or vibration sensors, shock sensors, which is where a unit will typically be placed on, say, a window or a wall in some aspects, and then when it sees vibration is coming from someone, say, trying to jimmy a window, it will trigger the alarm. You've also got all sorts of other types of sensors, such as external motion sensors, which is where you have, these are quite new, quite modern, and these are sensors that will sit outside, say in a back garden, and someone coming towards the property, if the system is set, it will trigger the alarm. So that's another type. Now, burglar alarm, you can also have on a burglar alarm smoke sensors. So usually smoke sensors are like mains run. Well, you can have them as part of your security setup, and they can be on there as well. And you also have things like external sirens. They're what sit on the wall outside and make a noise when the system triggers. And you may have as well things like internal speakers. And if I've got some more room here somewhere, you may have things like keypads that are also on the system to set and unset. So there's all sorts of different aspects to a burglar alarm. This certainly isn't it. There's many different factors. These days they're often controlled by an app, or they can go to a monitoring station, where the monitoring station will have people on hand, and the system triggers, they're going to be calling either you or the emergency response team if they deem it necessary to send out an emergency response team to that burglar alarm going off. That's more common in commercial setups, but you still do get it in domestic properties. It's not massive, that, in terms of the UK, but in other countries like America and Europe, they're much more heavily reliant on monitored setups, and often don't even have external sirens, which seems crazy to us because that's such a main part of a security system to anyone in the UK. But when you actually go abroad, that's not actually as common as you would think. Now, as time's gone on, they've got a lot smarter, they've got a lot better, and they've changed a lot. So, for instance, they all used to be wired systems, and that means from the control panel, you'd have cables going out to each sensor or on a daisy chain, depending on the type of system it was. And you'd have wires going out, and over the wires was how it was communicate back to the control panel. Now, though, it's changed a lot, and most new installs are going in wirelessly. Now, to people who have known about systems for a long time, sometimes that can put them off a little bit. But honestly, I'll go into a deep discussion on wireless systems in another video. But wireless is a really great way to have a versatile system, which means sensors can move and be in different places, you know, depending on your house potentially moving. You have a bit of an issue with cables. Sometimes you've got that one spot, you've got that one hit when you're putting the install in, and it's hard to add stuff to it later without causing a real problem to a house, maybe after it's been refurbed. But on a wireless system, you can do things like add sensors afterwards at any time. If there's a shed or a garage or something like that you want to cover, it's quite easy to go and do it after. So they're much more adaptable. However, there are, say, drawbacks, you could say, such as they work off batteries and the battery life will eventually drain and then need to be changed. If you've got it on a service and maintenance contract with a professional installer, you'll have no problem just getting them to go and change them, because they'll do it on their yearly service anyway. Or now, because everything's app-based, if you've got, say, a DIY system, which is getting more and more common, you'll get notifications on your phone to say the batteries are low, you need to change them. So your DIY systems or professionally installed systems are two variations on burglar alarm systems, professionally installed. And realistically, that's a real general overview of what a burglar alarm is. Now, as I stated earlier, a burglar alarm has two specific functions, and one of them is something people often don't really think about. Now, I get a lot of comments sometimes from people saying things like, what's the point in a burglar alarm? It doesn't stop anyone, you know, it doesn't physically go out and attack anyone. And you know, that is correct. The equipment that's there to see motion or see intrusion will not go and physically attack someone. But what it will do, first of all, and this is not the main point, but it is very significant, it will deter intruders. And the way it will deter intruders is by making loud sounds, okay? It will prevent intruders from trying to break into your property, and if they do break into your property, then the alarms are going to be going off. It's all a real problem for them. Burglars don't want to be picked up. They're usually opportunists. They want to be able to usually do a load of houses in the same street without getting detected and get away with all their ill-gotten gains without anyone knowing that they've been there for hours. The last thing they want is alerting everyone to their presence and potentially getting arrested and potentially getting thrown in prison, which is where they belong. But deterring someone is not the main function of an intruder alarm or a burglar alarm, in my opinion. The main aspect of a burglar alarm is to alert you as, let's say, the homeowner that there is an intruder. Now, the reason this is more important, in my opinion, than deterrence is because the main thing is you need to be alerted to, well, let's say for one thing, you'd want to be alerted to a fire if you have smoke sensors on your system, but realistically, we're talking about people breaking in to your property and potentially doing you harm. Now, I've had it, unfortunately, many times when I've went and installed a security system for someone when they've got a security system after a break-in, and this is all too common a scenario, and they've told me they knew someone was there because they woke up when they were in their bed and they were standing over them, which is terrifying for anyone, man or woman. That is a horrendous scenario and something I'd never wish on anyone to go through, but it happens all too often. They usually aren't too scared about going upstairs to find keys for cars, to find valuables like jewelry and mobile phones, all because a lot of the time they can actually do it without waking up the people that are in the home. It's amazing how quiet they can be. Even dogs don't tend to bark when people are in the house. People often think their dog will be like an amazing security system and bark its head off when someone's in the house. You'd be amazed how often they stay completely silent, even if the burglar is in the room with them and the family can't believe that the dog didn't make a sound. But you need to be alerted, because you need to be alerted to the danger. It's much better that you know someone's attempting to get into your property rather than wake up when you're in such a vulnerable spot and they're in your room demanding your car keys. If you know that they're there, you can take proactive steps to then ensure your safety and your family's safety, such as calling the emergency services, such as getting prepared, standing at the top of the stairs, letting them know that you know they're there, all those sorts of things. So the most important thing is to alert you to a potential danger. I hope this has cleared up what a burglar alarm is. Thanks for watching. See you on the next one.